It makes your assets scarce. It helps him bond to you. It shows him that you are grateful for your life. It demonstrates value in the dating pool that you believe that you have, and it makes you safe. Welcome to the video. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today we are discussing 5 big reasons that not being afraid of losing a guy is smart and super attractive. Number 1 is showing him your assets have scarcity and are valuable. I'm not talking about the assets that you immediately go to. I know where you went there. No, I'm talking about the assets that really matter. I'm talking about your energy, your focus, your attention. There's a reason they call it paying attention, because it's an investment, and especially your time. These are the assets that when a man realizes, oh, these are scarce with this woman, she's not afraid to lose me. She's willing to walk away in the dating process. She's willing to take her time, her effort, her energy, her charm, her wit, her investment, her personality. She's willing to take it away. Ooh, it's scarce. It's hard to get. Someone else could take it. That makes a man feel that those things have value because they are scarce. Unfortunately, no matter who you are, if you give your time, your energy, your effort willingly, without reciprocation to people who don't deserve it, that thing has less perceived value. Yes, everyone's time technically has the same value, but in reality, that's not really true, is it? We're going to pay a lot more for a dinner with Tony Robbins than we are with, well, Mark Rosenfeld or whoever else we want to have dinner with. So keep in mind that your assets have value, but they need to be perceived as scarce to have that value recognized. This is why it's important when you're with a guy, if you're willing to take those away and you're not afraid to lose him, he immediately goes, oh, that thing's a little scarce. I could lose this thing. It must be valuable. Which brings me to number 2. It helps him bond to you. Why would it help him bond to you to be unafraid of losing him? Wouldn't it make more sense to help him bond to you if you're always there and you're always around? No. I get this. And any of you who have ever worked with me to get an ex back, and while that's not my most common type of client, you guys always make this mistake. You think being there is what's going to make him bond to you the most. Actually, him investing in you is what's going to make him bond to you the most. Yes, sometimes that means you need to be there, but to have him invest in you, sometimes that means you need to not be there. And this is a classic example of that. When you're willing to take something away and make it scarce, let's say your time, energy, focus, and attention, he starts to go, oh, it's valuable. I want more of it. To get more of it, he's going to invest. That then kicks in the circuit in a man's brain, which is when I've invested in something, it must be valuable. Our brain has this sneaky wiring that I've talked about in previous videos where basically the more invested we are in something, the more we think the thing is important. If you've ever, built a couch instead of just bought one, you know what I mean here. If you've ever cleaned a room instead of having someone else clean the room, you know what I mean. When we invest, we become invested. So a man's perceiving your assets as scarce, and then by doing that to get those assets back, as in your time, energy, focus, and attention, he's asking you questions. He's asking you out. He's wanting more time with you. He's invested in from everything from the conversational presence to the next date. He's working for it. And when he's working for it, he's listening more. He's asking better questions. He's becoming more invested and bonded to you. So it is literally a win-win. The more he invests, the assets become scarce, and then the more he invests, the more connected and bonded he becomes to you. The third is it shows the gratitude you have for your life. When you're willing to walk away, when you're not afraid to lose a guy, it's basically saying, I'm okay going back to my reality. It was all right there. I had it pretty good. I was pretty chuffed with it. I was feeling in a good place. I was grateful for life. Not even elated or exuberant or the happiest person in the world. I was just grateful for where I was. That energy is so radiant. When you are there happy in your reality, people can't help, men especially can't help but want to join you in that reality. So naturally, when you're not afraid to lose a guy, you're basically subcommunicating that, look, my reality is pretty great. I'm very grateful for it. I got good stuff going here. This doesn't mean avoidant disconnection. And I think sometimes this advice can get interpreted that way. So this doesn't mean completely, stepping back and pretending you're not interested. It doesn't mean faking disinterest to get interest. It means you can still show interest and be invested and show up fully. But it also means, okay, if he leaves tomorrow, I'll be all right. If that's the choice you want to make, sir, it is a bad choice because I'm pretty awesome, but you are free to make that choice. That immediately makes the man go, why are you so happy where you are? Let me come over there and spend more time in that energy. I want to know more about this. You can see why it is so radiant and attractive to have that. Which also leads me to number 4. It demonstrates that you have value in the dating pool. Clearly, if a woman is willing to walk away from one option, she probably has other options waiting in the wings. And even if that might not technically be true for you, it feels true for the man. FOMO is real. One of the biggest reasons men choose to commit is fear of losing the great thing that they have to another man. They don't want to lose it. It is a very real, primal, evolutionary threat. Men will fear commitment sometimes when he doesn't have the resources, or maybe when he feels he's not good enough. He might waver on whether or not he wants to commit. But when a woman says, okay, well, I'm going to give this all in on someone else, that really makes a man think, do I really want to lose this woman? Because a man knows once he's lost your heart, he's lost you. He has lost you. Once you've gone and bonded to another man, there ain't no coming back from that. So that energy that you put out there when you're not afraid of losing him, which says, actually, I could go back to the dating pool and I'm perfectly happy to do so, makes him go, she could go back to the dating pool and she's perfectly happy to do so. That means she must be doing well in the dating pool. And again, if other men want her, not only could they snatch her away from me, it probably means she's a good option and I should snap her up quickly. And the fifth and final thing that is super smart and super attractive about not being afraid to lose a guy is it makes you safe in their eyes. Of course, men don't fear physical safety, but there are still fears that men have. And one of those is not being willing and able to do what he needs to do in his life to get where he needs to go. Basically, constriction and loss of autonomy. Now, women, of course, have this fear as well. Both men and women fear loss of autonomy. But as you know, especially from the stereotypes, men can be on average a little more sensitive to this fear. A man needs this fear a little more to make sure he can develop the resources and get to a good place in life, that he can support progeny, that he can support a woman. So on an evolutionary level, this also makes sense. But when it comes to safety, you being willing to go back to the dating pool, you being willing to walk away, not afraid to lose him, basically says, okay, well, she's not 100% attached to the outcome here. Therefore, I'm probably okay to keep having certain freedoms as I'm with her. Now, of course, these things can get triggered again, and sometimes further along in the relationship, new fears can come up for a man. But overall, when you say, hey, I'm okay to lose this person, I'm not afraid of it, a man says, well, she's obviously going to give me some level of freedom when I'm with her and respect my autonomy. That makes you feel safe to him, which ironically means he can get closer to you and bond to you. And a personal story here, I know for Sam, my wife, whenever she says, Mark, you know what, I want you to go and do that thing. I want you to have fun. I want you to get out there. If that means a lot to you, you go and do it. Whenever she says that, I'm like, I just want to hang out with you now. I feel more bonded to her and closer to her and safer to her because she's sort of saying, look, that autonomy is there. And interestingly, half the time I don't even want it when she said that. So this helps us, especially if a man is a little bit avoidant, which I am. So speaking for some of the avoidant gents here, if we're a little bit avoidant, you giving us that, hey, I'm okay where I am impression makes us go, she's not going to control us. I'm safe to bond to her. So that is the 5 reasons that not being afraid to lose a guy is smart and super attractive. If you want to work with me with a no man, no fee guarantee, hit the link below. You'll chat to a member of my team. They can tell you all about it and then connect you to me. Otherwise, leave a comment with your thoughts on the content in the section below. Hit the like button and give the video a subscribe with the little bell so you get the notifications for future ones. I'll see you in the next video very soon.